when you're about to present or you're about to ask a question, would appreciate if your cameras are open, so at least the speaker can see who is asking the question and at least can relate a bit. Cameras can be off now if you want to, but when you're about to ask a question, we'll appreciate that you switch on your cameras. So I'm introducing Dr. Ahmed Tijani Salahuddin, who is a senior lecturer and control system expert with a PhD in control systems from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He's currently a research associate, at ACWS RWTH HN and a fellow of the German Scholars Academy and the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. Ahmed has published numerous research papers in esteemed journals, and his research interest includes control systems, microgrid systems, and computational optimization. His expertise and experience in these fields has made him a sought-after speaker with numerous accolades among his peers. Thank you very much. So you have the floor now.
Okay. I don't know how the day is in your place, but here I will say good afternoon to everyone. It's my pleasure to present Zotero as a referencing and bibliography management tools for us, and I hope that you will find it interesting to use. I don't know if I can share my slide, if it's allowed to share it for now.
Please go ahead. Please do. Please do.
Okay. Okay. Before coming to Germany, I was using EndNote, and to me, EndNote was more like the best software, one of the best software I have ever met in writing my research, because it saved a lot of my time, especially managing my references and tracking some important papers that I need for my research. But coming here, and unfortunately, I'm sorry to say this, that back home, most of the software we use is not genuine. So coming here, I realized that EndNote is not available to me. So they use more of open source software. And then somebody told me about Zotero, which is also a referencing tool and an open source software. And then within a few days, I find it very interesting. And I can say, as a user of EndNote in the past, and also Mendeley, Zotero seems to be the top notch to me because it's so simple to use, manages what I don't expect that it could handle as an open source software. I want to first believe that most of us have Zotero installed already. If you don't have it, I put my email here. After this presentation, if you have questions, you can always ask me. Feel free to ask me. Before we start, I will first of all like to know the kind of audience that I'm presenting to. So I'll be glad if you can quickly go to menti.com. You can use your phone, you can use your system. Just go to menti.com, enter this code, and just let me answer this for me. Let me know the software that you are familiar with. I hope you get my point.
Yes, we're on it.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Where is the code? I cannot find the code.
The
okay,
code is
I have seen
just
it.
on here. Okay.
I've seen it.
Okay, only 4 people have voted so far. 5, 6. Okay. Okay, none. Okay, I think the number so far gave me an idea of the kind of audience. And then also, I would like that you also answer this question briefly. The same, enter this code now, and let me see the kind of people that are here. Okay. So far, the names I'm seeing shows that we have very interesting personalities here in the presentation. But the bottom line is that we are all strong personalities. So I expect after this presentation, you give Zotero a try, because these names that you are mentioning here are names of that are, I mean, known to be strong and then in the animal group. So I expect that after this presentation, you give Zotero a try, and possibly you will find it very useful to you. So before I start, please, how many minutes is my presentation?
Okay, the idea is usually we do everything and end in 1 hour.
Okay.
So I don't know how long your presentation will take. Maybe you could.
Okay, I can share the slide with you. My intention was to make it a hands-on. That is, if believing that many people already have Zotero software installed. But if I have short time, I'll skip the presentation and go straight to the software and then show you.
I think we can carry that. But there and about, can you finish everything in like 40 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So Zotero is just a referencing tool, open source, easily available, can be downloaded on their website, zotero.com. And then one of the beautiful thing about Zotero is that it has what we call an add-in that you can plug in, that you can attach to your browser. And this plugin can extract information even from a news outlet or news website, and extract the content of citations that are present in any website. And if there is PDF relevant to that content, it also extracts it automatically to your referencing database. Just an overview that I expect you have Zotero installed, so that when we start practicing a little bit of Zotero, you can also practice along with us. To download it, you go to zotero.org, download. You need to download two things: Zotero software itself, the present version is 6.0.23, and you also download Zotero plugin, because this plugin is what will be attached to your, mostly they call it Chrome plugin. It can also be used with Opera. Like for me, I use it with Opera mostly, though I also use it with Chrome and other, but it's not supported with Internet Explorer and Edge. When you download Zotero, after installing it, it's expected that you register in their website. You have an account in their website. You also have an account in the app. Both accounts will be synchronizing together. You don't really have to be transferring your database in your system when you are changing system. All you need to do is download the software again. Your database that is stored on the cloud in their website will automatically sync to the software that you already, the new one that you installed. And to do that, you just go to edit. After installing it, I will show you more about it when we go into the software. When you install Zotero, the first thing is that you see, when you open it, this is the first interface you see. Automatically, it creates a database called My Library. This My Library will first, you can create more subfolders on it to manage some specific content of your research. Maybe you have some group of topics, you can create some subfolders under the library and group some citations, some references or papers into that folders. There are so many ways you can import into Zotero. One cool thing about Zotero is when you drag in a PDF into the library, it automatically extracts the referencing information of that PDF and also attach the PDF to that referencing information. I demonstrated an example here. We'll see it in practice when we go to the software. One of the things, most of the things you can do, you can help you manage your reference database through browser, also through the app, and then you can get reference information online using some identifiers like the ISBN, the DOI, and you can also create your manual citation or reference using manual entry. When you install Zotero plugin, the symbols in the browser will always change. I do some online search, and then I noticed that for this website, for example, the plugin changes to this. For this one, the plugin changes to this. So you look out for different type of icon of Zotero plugin, depending on the information that is being extracted from the page online. Common information displayed, the Zotero will extract from online sources or even from the PDF are demonstrated here. You have the journal title, some referencing details, sometimes including the abstract of the paper also extracted along with it for you. Like I mentioned earlier, you can extract references through ISBN and other information. You can add reference by either books, conference, journals, any kind of reference. You can add it manually through this sign here, through this symbol here. I will demonstrate because of time. I will better demonstrate physically to see how it's done. And then Zotero help you keep your references organized in folders and also in tags. You can create tags. For example, you have journals that are linked to another journal and so on and so forth. So you can add tags to each journal with making references to other informations, or maybe some journals that are very important for your research that you have to continue to read. So you can add some red tags on those journals to make them very spell out for you anytime you are going through your database. I also demonstrate how to add those kind of information. For example, if you want to add a folder to group some references, this is where you add the folder, and then you can drag some reference to it that are special to that folder. So I show some other information here like tags. You can add tags, you can add notes. For example, you can add some special description about a particular paper on EndNote, on Zotero, and then you can also link papers together. For example, if I have this paper here linked to another paper like this one, I can add this to this, link this to this one. Anytime I click on this one, I see all the other papers that are linked to it. So you will see that also in the showing practically. And then what take me to Zotero, first of all, was that I'm someone that use LaTeX mostly for my writings. So one of the challenges we have in LaTeX, for example, I do use JabRef in the past. I noticed that in JabRef, it doesn't have a means of sorting out some information about a particular reference. For example, maybe the reference is of LaTeX extension or LaTeX X extension and those kind of things. So, but in Zotero, it has a cool way of handling this kind of thing. And it also has a cool way of extracting paper. For example, if I'm downloading paper from Elsevier, it can download the paper from Elsevier with an Elsevier folder already for me. I don't have to come to my data. Hello?
Hello, sir. I think we lost you for some few minutes, but I think we can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes.
At what point, if I have to go back? Okay, there's no need. I think when we do the practical, when we show it physically, you will see most of the thing I've already said. So what I'm saying here is that Zotero will extract the reference online with a folder name peculiar to the database you are extracting the reference from. So that makes it a little faster for you to process your references. So now, when you are using Zotero with MS Word or with Google Docs, there are so many ways you can do your citation or even create your bibliography. One cool way is you can just drag the reference from the Zotero into your reference page on the MS Word, and then Zotero will automatically create the bibliography information for you. And then there are so many other ways. So I think this is just the brief background of Zotero. If it's needed, I can share the slide to the group later. So let's go to the Zotero proper. Okay. Please, if you have Zotero installed, I advise you also open yours so that we can do things together. Okay. So this is usually not the first page when you open it, but this is when you open it for the first time, this will not be the first page. This is after creating a library that I call my library. Then anytime you open it, this will become the page. Now, on this library, you can always create a new library if you wish by clicking on this. I hope you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor moving?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So you can always create a new library by clicking on this icon here. And then you can add folder to the library by clicking on this icon. I have two libraries here. I created this one to share with some of my students. And then I created this one just for some personal, especially because of this presentation. So on this library, I can create a folder, like I said previously. Let's say I want some information about, I'm working on machine learning and I have to do some study on maybe support vector machine or something. I can create this folder here, and then I'll call it SVM here. So I have a folder created as SVM. I can create more folders and so on and so forth. So under this SVM, let's say I have this paper is part of SVM that I need to study when I come to studying about SVM. So after downloading the paper online, which I will show you, you will drag the paper down here, and then the paper will automatically appear under this SVM. You can see I have one paper added under this SVM. This paper I already attached the PDF on it. I will show you how we attach the PDF. And then under this file, there are so many things like create new collection. It is also the same as this one. You can create new collection by coming here. You see all of them here. You can create maybe an email and add all those kind of preprint, podcasts, and those kind of things. You create new notes. For example, if you want to add a note to this reference, you can create new note. It is also the same icons that you see here. I think this is create new note by clicking on this one. All these ones are not very important for now. You can export library. I will show us when we want to demonstrate on how to use this on LaTeX. So you can export your library. You can also import library into LaTeX, Zotero. And then under here, when you install Zotero, the first thing that is properly you're supposed to do is to go to this preference, like I said in the beginning, to create your create your account, log in your account on the app, so that when you have your database created, it can be automatically synced to your online account, and then you have your database online. I already linked an account to this one, so you will not see the login information, but basically what you see here is to enter your username and password, and then you log in. Your library information will automatically be stored for you online. Then this one, you copy, these are normal things that is self-explanatory that you see. You can edit the layout, you can do some other things, you can change font size, you can do all those kind of things. Tools, you can create timelines, you can install connector, which I already did. I tried to explain in the beginning, I will show you. Those are basically the interface. And if you are familiar with Mendeley and EndNote, you'll see that this interface seems very, very simple, very easy. There's no much things to click, just very important information that are displayed. Now here, this is where the information about the library is stored, about a particular references is stored. For example, this paper here, these are the details about the paper. It's a journal article with this title, with these authors, and then the Zotero also take the abstract for you. Then you have all the details about the reference. Then you can add notes about this reference. Maybe it's a reference about sorry. You can edit the note. Yeah, you can add special note. Let's say it is SVM paper. You can add this special note. When you come to the reference, it shows you some special note that you add. Then you can add tags. Let's say in the paper, there are some keywords that are very special on the paper. You can add them by saying maybe if the paper talk about basics of SVM, basics, it talks about some other things like maybe, let's say related algorithms to SVM, you can add them here just to make it distinct from other papers, because at the end of the day, you may have a very big library that to identify a particular paper will be difficult. Then you can link this paper to another paper. If you have another paper that is very linked to this, you can add it here by clicking on related. If I come back here, maybe it's related to this, I will add this. If it is there, anytime I click on this paper in my big database, I will always see the paper that is related to it, and then make referencing to all the related information very easy. Now, when you want to use this with Word, I'll just create a random text. So let's say this is my document that I need to add reference into or make my bibliography on. So I'll do references here. So if I need to cite this paper here as my first paper that I need in my document. Now, when you install Zotero, automatically a plugin or an add-in will be created to your Word for you. If you don't have this after installing Zotero, you can send me an email. I'll guide you through on how to make it appear here. So if you click on it, you also have very little information to manage your references. Unlike EndNote, for example, that you have so much things that you get confused on where to go and where to start from. So here, if you want to cite here, if you click on Add Citation here, it brings out this, where you select the citation format that you want for this document. If you want IEEE, maybe Elsevier, Harvard, APA, and so on and so forth, you select it. If the style you need is not here, you can come here for more style. You see all the style that it's supported. Click Additional Styles. If you click Additional Style, you see most of the styles that you need here. You can easily add them back to the Zotero database. So let's say I select IEEE and then I click this. Okay. Now it brings out this here. When you start typing, all the references that you have in a particular database that is active in your Zotero will appear here for you. If you look at this one, the folder that is active here in my Zotero is this folder here, the SVM folder. And I only have 2 papers added to it here. So that's why you see these 2 papers here, the first one and then the one that I linked to it initially. So here you can just complete by by picking the references you need by just selecting it, and then you press enter. It automatically add it for you here. You see, it has added the references, just like the other reference manager that we are familiar with. Now, under here, if I just click on any of these, and I drag it here, you see, it automatically creates the bibliography for me. So the advantage of this is, instead of coming here to be citing and then coming here to be adding the bibliography independently, you can just select all the references that you need in your document and just drag them down here already. And then after that, you can start citing them in the main document, in the main text, one after the other as they appear. Now here also, you can also add notes. If you have to add a note about this reference, you can add notes. Let's say most important. You can add note about this reference to make it a little spell out from other ones. Maybe it's very special about your for the report that you had. Then you can do maybe big preference to some text in the document or some other information in the document. So basically, this is the available add-ins for Zotero in your Word, and it's simple, and then you just, as I explained. Now, if you want to add a new document into your Zotero, for example, let's go to Google Scholar. This is the easiest. Let's say I type S. Okay, let me just click on this. Now, assuming that I have studied this and it's part of the document I need for my reference detail. So usually you click on Cite, and then you select EndNote, Zotero support the EndNote extension, RefMan, and the other one, RefWorks. So I always click RefMan. I don't know why, but I like picking that one. And then when you click it, it automatically exports it to your library. And it's give you the information here. The library is exporting it to my library. If you don't want it in my library, if you have more library, you can select the particular library that you want it to appear. You pick it from here. Now, the icon that I explained previously, you see the icon that is here is different from maybe when we do another document. It's showing a book here. And then this is the main Zotero plugin that is on this browser. When I go to a different database, the plugin may change. For example, if I go to Science Direct, and I just type something like this one, for example, you see the icon here has changed to, oh, okay, it comes back to this. But if I go back, the icon here is different now from this one here. So from here, let me look for any document that has PDF that I can export. Yes, this one has PDF. I can export this with the PDF. So if I click on this Zotero icon, you see it has downloaded it, and then it created a folder called Science Direct Snapshot. And under that folder, it put the reference and even the PDF downloaded along with it. So if I come to my Zotero and I open the Zotero app, yeah, I think this is it, right? Yes. So you see the paper has automatically appears in my Zotero library, and then the PDF is attached along with it, including the abstract is used as part of the Zotero information for you here. So now I can just click on the the reference and drag it to the folder that is related to the reference information. These are some of the things that I find difficult to do when I was using EndNote for my reference, EndNote and the other one, Mendeley, as my reference manager. So you can also download many documents together with Zotero. For example, you can select, if I click on here, it brought all the papers under this page for me to pick which of the papers I want to download. And as I pick them, it will download them also with the PDF. Those that has PDF available, it attach the PDF along with the reference detail. So if I select all, for example, select all, and okay. You see, it's downloading all of them for me. So if I come back to my Zotero, you see I have all the paper I just selected downloaded here, and those that have PDF is attached to it. I think this too has PDF attached to them. So you can now also sort it out by creating your folders that relate to a particular group and then move them there. You can select all of them. Let's say you select all of them at once and move them all at the same time to the reference group. Now, my SVM folder now have a good number of references. Now, even though I don't have the reference PDF attached to all of them, I can attach the PDF independently. If I have the PDF, let's say let's say for this one, it doesn't have PDF. Let's say the PDF is this. Sorry, let me use something. So let's say the PDF is this. I can just click on the PDF and drag it there. And then it's automatically attach it for me. If I click on this, you see the PDF I just dragged there is already attached. And also, if I have a reference, I have a PDF, but I don't have the reference detail. If you just drag the PDF down here, the Zotero will automatically scan the PDF and create the reference for you. For example, if I drag this here, if I drag this, sorry, I can't drag that. If I drag this down here, Zotero will scan it and create the PDF for me. Where is it? Okay. So that is how you put your references in Zotero and then add papers and so on. You can also just right click on any of them. For example, if I have downloaded the reference, I can just right click and then go to attachment and click on, if I have already downloaded it, I can just navigate to where the paper is and just select it. It automatically attaches it for me. You can also find the PDF online. For example, if this is not available, you don't know where you have already downloaded the PDF, you can just go to find the PDF, I to go online and search for the PDF and automatically attach it for you if it's available. So you can see how powerful it is. And then you can add references by using the ISBN, the ISBN, the DOI of any journals that you have. Maybe you have the ISBN, you have the DOI, you forgot the title. You can just copy them and paste them here. Zotero will search online and add that reference for you. For example, if we go here, okay, we already have this one. I think we already have that one. If I go down to, let's say, 100, top 100, and I go to the last one, let's say this, I have the DOI. Let's say I have this, I can just copy it and come to Zotero here and paste it. Then I'll search it. You see, it will search it and brought it. It's already added. That's already added the reference here. Uncertainty modeling method for whatever. And this is it. Uncertainty modeling for risk and so on. So that is Zotero. Now, if you are using LaTeX and you want to export your reference to your LaTeX, what you will do is so I just created a random document. You can just come to your Zotero, you go to File, you go to Export, Library, and then you can select, even if you're not interested in selecting exporting all of them, you can individually select the ones that you want by just selecting randomly, and then you export. Then you can decide to exclude the notes or include notes if you have the note. You can also decide to export the file along with the Zotero citation, which you're not going to need in your citation. So for bibliography, in LaTeX, you select BibTeX. It also has BibLaTeX. Most of the bibliography reference managers, like Jabref, only have, I think, 2 of these options, maybe BibTeX and BibLaTeX. So if you select BibTeX, you can select the Unicode you want. You can select either this one or this one. It depends on the content. If you have symbolic names or titles in your reference detail, you may have to select this without Unicode or with Unicode. So if I export, you can name it, let's say Zotero Bib. Zotero Bib. I export it to download. Then after you export it, you can just drag that BibTeX. You can just drag it to your, sorry. You can just drag it to your LaTeX file, and then you put it there. If you're not using Overleaf, you are using maybe Text Studio or any LaTeX editors, you can just copy it and paste it there. And now you can do your citation here. So let's say I have, let me see. let's say this is part of the document here, introduction. I paste it. Yes, this is my LaTeX file. And then, you have to call the bibliography here by entering bibliography with the name Zotero bib. Then you do bib style. You select the style you want. Bibliography style. I'll just put this one, I think, for IEEE that we do as example in the Word. And then when you come here and you select site, your site. Okay, wait 1 minute. I have to build it, I think. Yes. So site. Okay. Let's say this one. Let me verify this. Yeah, so you can just type site. You see, one of these reference that I just copied from the bib text is already cited for me here. You can see as one, and then you see this is the paper here. If I come again, I cite, and then you see all the reference that we exported from BibTeX, from Zotero, all of them appears here. So you can just go through and select which one you have to cite in a particular sentence or whatever in the document. So that is how you can manage, you can use this to manage the reference right from Zotero. First, make sure everything is sorted in Zotero, then you just export it and make life very, very easy here. Instead of most of us in the past, we create this BibTeX, the BibTeX manually by coming here and doing begin bibliography, begin bib and all those kind of things. So basically, this is just a very fast and brief overview of using Zotero. I hope that you find it interesting to use as you do your research. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was an insightful one. Well, I got lost at some point though, but it was an interesting presentation. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Sorry about that. I was trying to not waste people's time, to try to be a little bit fast.
It was when you got to the programming part. I don't even know what app you were using at all, but that's
okay,
one of
for
my
this
questions
one,
as
sorry,
well.
For this one, it's an overleaf. It's
okay.
overleaf. So you have